Hello, and welcome back to the Hoarder's Crafting Podcast. My name is Sasha, and this is my little alcove of the internet where I like to talk all things crafting. Today I have 2 whips to talk about, and that's pretty much it. I've done some prep work for Wonderwool. There is an episode before Wonderwool. This is episode 54, I believe. So it should be a relatively short one today. It depends how much I waffle, but I do have other things I have to get done after this. So this week I have worked on 2 projects. That's it. I've not so much been focusing. I've just had quite a busy week and not really had tons of time to actually work on stuff. So I shall start with the small one, which has seen the most visible progress. And these are my April socks. I am using the Lonely Knitter for the main colour, in the Trying Not to Fail colourway. And I have 1 sock finished. So the black is just a free mini I was given with a purchase from Mothy and the Squid. But I have 1 sock finished, and I am all tangled up apparently. And I'm about halfway through the leg on the second sock. So I'm knitting these on a 2.5mm short circular with 20 rounds of 2x2 rib for the cuff, 45 rounds for the leg, just a standard slip stitch heel flap, and gusset with a wedge toe. And I am very happy with how these are coming out. I do quite like this colourway. It's really pretty. It's kind of micro striping, but not at the same time. It has kind of pooled on the gusset decreases, because there's a lot of black on this side and then not a lot this side. Whereas on the leg and the rest of the foot, the black is quite evenly spread. But I don't mind that. I think this looks really nice. And I mean, if people are noticing that it's flashed on my gusset section, they're entirely too close to my feet for my liking anyway. But this is the first project I've worked on. I think I just started the gusset last week, so I've finished the foot of this, cast this on, and it will probably, hopefully, be finished next week. I'm not entirely sure. I do have an appointment at the hospital on Monday, so this will probably get a lot of work then, because just the way that appointment works, you go in, they do all the usual stuff. They take blood, they get a blood pressure reading, height, weight, all of that, and then you wait around for one of the pre-op nurses, which could be 5 minutes, could be 2 hours. So this will probably get plenty of work next Monday. But maybe actually I'm a little further than halfway. But that's project number 1. As I said, it's not overly exciting, is it? It's a stockinette midi sock. It's not a shorty, but it's also not a long maxi length. So, is it a midi sock? And I have this much left of my 10 gram mini. At least I believe they were 10 grams. have another one here. Yeah, 10 gram. So, I'm pretty sure I have enough of the main skein left. The main skein was just a 50 gram. However, I'm going to keep this in the bag just in case I've miscalculated and I need a couple of extra rounds to finish the toe on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm okay. Like, this looks fairly. I'm pretty sure I can get the rest of a sock out of this. Like, that shouldn't be an issue. So, project number 1. And then project number 2 is my, this is my In Between Dreams cardigan by My Units. And I have this much. This is very difficult to show. I have done the last row of increases, and in fact, I have 16 rows of the chart left to do. So that's just under a quarter of the chart left. So this has probably seen the most work while I've been at home this week, because I've done about 12 rows on this. But of course there is well over 400 stitches at this point. It's a lace pattern, so it takes a lot of concentration. So although this has seen a lot of progress, it doesn't look like a lot of progress. I shall try and spread out a little bit so you can see once I've separated off the sleeves, I think the lace will show up a bit better. I could technically move this onto a longer cord, but as soon as I separate off the sleeves, the cord would then be too long, so it would just bug me with how long the cord is. So I'm just going to leave it on this one. It's easy enough to work with, it's just difficult to show. So this yarn is Rowan Valley Tweed in the colourway Janet's Foss. I'm pretty sure it is a discontinued yarn because even the Rowan website only has like one colour left in stock. Which might explain why when I bought this it was cheap, but that could just be because I was at a craft show and they were trying to get people in. But yeah, it's coming along well. I'm hoping to have this done, like the chart finished, before Wonderwool, so that I can work on this in the car. Which should be quite doable. I did 4 rows last night. So if I did 2 rows of the chart every day, so the lace row and then the just purling back row with a few knit stitches in there, the chart will be finished by Wednesday. 8 days. It's Thursday today. We'll be finished next Friday. I'm sure I can get this to the point where it's literally just back and forth knitting. So I'm going to try and get another 4 rows done tonight. Most of the rows now are fairly easy. There's not tons of complicated lace left. So we'll see how it goes. You'll find out next Friday. if it's finished in time for me to just work on it. So I'm really, really loving this. Probably why it's the only thing I've worked on. I have so many other projects I could be working on, but this is what's been tickling my fancy, so this is what I've been working on. And I know it's not very exciting because I've had 2 projects to show you this week, and we are, what, 10 minutes in and already done? And now my bag is trying to eat the pull cord. And project-wise, that's everything. I do have a couple of other things to mention. As I said, Wonderwool is coming up. There is another episode before that, but I've been doing a lot of prep work for that this week. When I say prep work, it's just like the patterns I want to make, I'm writing down the yarns into a little book. Sometimes internet access can be a bit hit and miss. It's slow to load, stuff like that. And I don't like standing there in a stall going, do I need 4 or do I need 5? So I keep it written in a book for me to reference. It's quicker and it's easier. And while I was doing that, I also decided to create a game for my partner. He always comes with me to yarn shows. Like, he enjoys them to a degree. There's always cake for him, so stuff like that. But this year, because it's such a big show, I thought I would make it a little more fun for him and create Yarn Show Bingo. I have a 3x3 main bingo board, and then a 3 extras. Plus a couple of them have like bonus points that can be won. It's just a bit of fun. It keeps him engaged. He's kind of excited for it. So I have a Yarn Show Bingo for him. And I'm going to tell you the things I put on here. I will quickly say, Stephen West appears on this bingo board twice. I know there has been some drama the last week or so, or 5 days, 10 days. I'm not 100% sure. I've done a little bit of research into it when I heard about it. My opinion on this is people make mistakes and things slip through the cracks. He hasn't done it deliberately. He didn't, yeah. I understand this person, I'm not going to name names that he's done the interview with, does not support certain minority groups. Stephen West does. It's quite obvious he does. I won't go into too much detail about it. It's not my place to. Mistakes happen. So long as lessons are learnt from the mistakes. He's already issued an apology. He's requested that the interview be taken down. He's made a statement on his website with the shop, and lessons are learnt. Everybody makes mistakes. So long as you learn from them, then that's fine. I don't think I need to remind people of the tear-filled video he made a few years back when one of his shawls accidentally was designed with a symbol that represented hate. Accidents happen, mistakes happen, things slip through the cracks. You know, it's not just about this. Yeah, it's horrible, but it's not entirely his fault. He's got a whole team around him. So long as he learns and lessons are learnt and better procedures are put into place to stop this happening again. Now, Yarn Show Bingo. The first box is probably the one that's going to be the easiest for him to fill, so long as this current, I don't even want to say controversy, because I don't think it is, but square one is a Stephen West shawl, and he can also win a bonus point if it's the latest knit along. So last year's mystery knit along, the mystery musicale. So that square technically has 2 points available. Then we have something blue. So any sample made in blue yarn. I have also put in brackets for him, not yarn, must be a finished sample piece. Otherwise, I would just get a photograph of some yarn and be like, something blue. No. The next one, sorry, my leg is going to sleep and I don't know why. Next square is a gnome. Specifically a gnome designed by Sarah Shearer, which, to be honest, I think the top row is probably going to be the easiest for him to fill. Then I have a crocheted garment. So he has to find a crocheted garment sample piece. It has to be like a sample piece in a stall. He can't just go up to a random person wearing a cardi and go, can I take a picture of your cardi? It has to be a sample piece. And the way we're doing this is for him to fill this, he has to take a picture of it. And then when we get home, I'll put all the pictures together in the board, and then I'll probably put a graphic up to show you guys, because fun. The middle square is chicken with 2 exclamation marks. So we've noticed over the years there's been a couple of emotional support chickens as samples and stuff, so that's one of the things to find. A emotional support chicken, any size, any one of the designs, the junior, the regular, the baby. A rainbow coloured sample knit. So any pattern, any designer, it just has to be rainbow colours, which I'm going to say is fairly easy. I'm pretty sure every year we see multiple of those. Then the last row is a dyer I have purchased from before. So a couple of these are supposed to challenge him a little bit. He can't just go around taking pictures and all of that. So this one also has a bonus point. He'll earn an extra point if it's a dyer I've only purchased from once before. Like if I've only purchased from them once before previously to that day. If I buy from them that day, then it'll still only count as I've purchased from them once before, because realistically he's going to take the pictures on the first pass, and I hardly ever buy anything on the first pass. Next square is Dino Distraction. So any notion or project bag with a dino theme. So stitch markers, stitch stoppers, bags, fabrics, stuff like that. Just dino theme. And the last one on the main board is Stephen West sock or pet coat. And he can get a bonus point if he finds one of each. Once again, bit of fun. Like I might set up a couple of prizes, sort of prize tiers, depending on how many points he wins. But currently, this is as far as I've got, and I've got like a couple of sort of guidelines for it. So each picture can only count for 1 box, and taking 2 pictures of the same item doesn't count. So if, for example, he finds a shawlography that's been done in rainbow colours, he can only enter that for either the rainbow or the Stephen West shawl. He can't enter it for both. So my main bingo board has 12 points that can be won. And then the other one was bonuses, and each of the bonus ones are worth 2 points, so there's 6 points total from these 3. And these are slightly harder, I'd say. So one of them is an Andrea Mowry sweater sample. I don't think my partner knows what any Andrea Mowry pattern looks like, because I've never made one, so... But most dyers there have the name of the pattern on a tag. So if he happens to spot something and looks at it and it says Andrea Mowry, he can take a picture of it. I might also be kind and point him in the right direction. The next one is a colourwork sample. So any pattern type here, mitts, socks, sweaters, it just has to be colourwork. I think that's kind of the easiest one on here of the 3 bonus ones. But I'm being really picky with that one because, for example, a colourwork, there has to be like actual colourwork. It can't just be stripes with a couple of slip stitches to create blocks. So, for example, the painting bricks, that is created through slip stitches or honeycomb, painting honeycombs. You make slip stitches, so that would not count because that's basically stripes with extra steps. It has to be actual colourwork, mosaic colourwork, traditional colourwork. It just has to be actual colourwork. And then the hardest one for him, I think, in my opinion, I've called it wildcard because he has to find a sample of a pattern that I have knit before. I will allow him if he happens to find a sample of a pattern I have on my needles currently, I will allow that. But he has to remember what I've knit over the years. He has to think back and go, is that a sample of something she's knit, or is it just similar? So, like I said, it's a bit of fun. And he's kind of excited for it. As you might be able to tell from the thing, my toner is running a little bit thin. If this isn't very clear, I might stick a graphic in here of what this looks like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've done this week other than work and work out and do stuff around the house. So it's a fairly short one this week. Hopefully there'll be a bit more next week. I can't guarantee anything, but it is what it is. Some weeks really productive and other weeks just aren't, knit-wise. So I will leave it here for this week, and I hope to see you all next week. Bye, guys.